Okay, good everyone. Welcome everyone. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's live session on cybersecurity careers for non-techies. So we're so excited to have you with us today. My name is Tori Jimo, and I'll be guiding you through today's session. And I'm also joined with my colleague here, amazing colleague here, Priscilla Fanama, who you will also hear from shortly while going forward. So just stick around with us. But before I dive into what we'll be doing today. Once again, I want to say welcome everyone and thank you for taking your time to in joining us. We know you're busy, the schedule is tight, but you still created that time um to join us, which is well, we're very, very glad to have you here. So before we dive in, like I said, let's break the ice and drop in the chat or where you are joining us from today, because we've had people from the UK, Canada, Nigeria, the US, and even Asia in the past sessions. So let's see how global today's class is and also get to know each other. So let's just drop where we are joining from so we get to understand each other. So I mean the comment section now, looking for where each and every one of us, where we are joining from. So I know, for instance, for me, Toib, Lagos, Nigeria. So let me hear from everyone else. Just type in the comment section. Let's know where you're calling from. I mean, where you're joining from, sorry. Okay. Um, okay, Lagos, Nigeria. I think this is Tony. Yes, Tony. So your name and you tell us where you're joining from so we know where you're joining us from. Exactly. So I, Tony from Lagos, Nigeria. Charles from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Temitayo from Abuja. Okay, Anthony from Lagos. Okay, everyone. Where is everybody else? So let's get to know each and every one of us. Okay, Remy from Lagos. Hi, Remy. Welcome to the session today. I know we are more than this. So okay, Nedu from Germany. Okay, hi Nedu. Welcome to the session today. Mavi from Lagos. Hi Mavi. Where are the others? Where are the others? Let's introduce ourselves. Let's just know where we are joining from. Where are the others? Okay, Remy from Lagos also. Hi Remy. Okay, while we've been able to establish where so many of us are joining us from, that's good to see. And thank you once again for also joining this session. And we know you're busy, like I said, but still we appreciate that. And also, so you would see you'll see several links in the chat box whereby some of my colleagues will be dropping a link. So we want you to fill in those links so that you can get the recording of this session and also the material slides that I'll be working with today. So you can just fill in the form so you can get all of that. Okay, so going on to, I know some of you already know or have heard about us briefly, about Tanalytics. Some of you know us, or basically you just know one or two things about us. So just to quickly introduce Tanalytics, who we are, what we do at Tanalytics. So we are Tanalytics, a leading edtech company focusing on what? Helping people transition into technology careers. So over the last 5 years, we have helped more than 3,500 individuals land their very first tech job across UK, US, Canada, Europe, Africa, and even what? Asia. So now you might be wondering what makes us different? Like why Analytics? So our training is very practical, hands-on. Like most of what we do is what? We give you the real world taste of what you'll be working with. So our training is very practical, hands-on, and taught by instructors from global companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and McKinsey. So everything you learn with us is what companies are actually what looking for. So our mission is simple to just what make tech sector accessible to people from all round backgrounds, be it whether any background you're from. That's our mission to make all of these things what accessible to you. So that which what includes what you. So no worries, we basically we have you covered. That's just what I'm trying to um say today. So what is our agenda today? That is what are we working with? So all right, so in today's session, what we are going to be covering, and I promise to also what make it simple, practical, and very, very interactive, is going to be a loving session. So, firstly, we'll talk about cybersecurity specialization for non-techies and the journey, basically, how you can transition into all of this. So, this is where I will show you how people from backgrounds like businesses, law, healthcare, or even education can transition into cybersecurity. Now, secondly, will go into the pathway of becoming what a cybersecurity analyst will make you a specialist, a standard that when you're out there, you know this is what to do and this is what's not. So think of this like a roadmap. That is what steps you need to take to break in. That even if you're just starting from zero tech experience, this is the perfect place to be. Now, thirdly, we'll also share details of Tenalytics Growth Internship Program. This is where learning what meets the real world practice, because hands-on experience is what is really with what you really what set you apart in the job market, basically. And finally, we've got a special discount offer for you as attendees today, so you can definitely stay to the end to get all of this, to get like the whole grasp of everything that we'll be working on today. So I've been talking and talking, so I want you to meet me personally. So now a little about myself, so you know like basically who's talking to you. My name is Toy Ibjimo. Like I said, I'm a senior cybersecurity associate here at Tenalytics, and basically, my experience spans between IT infrastructure, cloud security, incident response, and what digital forensics. But what I'm most passionate about is what helping people without tech background basically transition into what cybersecurity. In fact, I have personally guided over 100 individuals without no prior tech experience into cybersecurity careers. Many of them started basically exactly where you are today. So they are curious, maybe they were curious, maybe a little bit, a little uncertainty, because it's not a straight path, to be very honest, but they were ready to take it to the what to the next step. So trust me, if they could do it, you can also do it too. Absolutely. It's not like um no one has done it before or something like that. But if they can do it, you can also what do it. Okay. Sorry, just a minute. Okay, let me just share again. Sorry about that. So, and also, I'm not doing this alone. I also, like I said from the beginning, I also have my colleague here with me, which is Priscilla Fanama. She's an educator, data expert, and career strategist with nearly 5 experience in what blockchain and data analytics. Also, she is a growth catalyst here at Analytics, and she has helped more than 500 individuals successfully what transition into what tech. She has a real gift in guiding people so as they choose the right path, basically, like pointing you to where to go or what to do, and oh, this tech career, this is what you want to pick. Exactly, go for it. And also add so much value to the session. So between the two of us, you are going to get like a full picture, the technical side, which is from me, and the career growth path and transition side, which will also be from what Priscilla. So now, before we start exploring all of these exciting career paths and opportunities, let's lay the foundation. Basically, let's lay the foundation together to see where we stand in everything. Basically, So let's lay the foundation before we start going deep into, oh, these are the parts that you should go to. This is where you should start from and all of that. So what exactly is cybersecurity, basically? So cybersecurity is just basically what protecting what your digital assets, protecting your digital data, protecting everything you have in the digital world. That's just what cybersecurity simply is. And here is like a quick analogy for that. Now, I know some of us here we use what either a fingerprint or a phone lock to on our mobile devices, on our smart devices. Now, I want you to see that example as what confidentiality. Now, and another thing is there are three words that I'll be explaining here: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. These are the three things that what cybersecurity stands on. So I've explained confidentiality, but I will take it again because we know that so many of us here what we use our phones for what for so many things, and in order for anyone to have access to our phone, you can either use what fingerprint or face ID or even like a pin. So that's basically what confidentiality stands for. Now for integrity, now imagine you transfer 10,000 naira. Imagine you transfer 10,000 naira and your bank app shows you 100 naira is left out of the 90,000 naira that you have in your bank account instead of 80,000 to be left. So with the movement of the money going out and it is being altered, that's basically what integrity is. That is keeping the integrity what either in transit or at rest. Keeping the integrity of what of data in transit or what at rest. And also, down to the last one, which is what availability. If the app is down when you need to send money or do anything, if your bank app is down, that's basically what availability deals with. So these are the things we call these three things we call them what in cybersecurity we call them what CIA triad basically. So that's what cybersecurity stands for, and that's basically what everything in the what in the information technology what stands on. Again, confidentiality, what integrity, um, confidentiality, integrity, and what availability. These three key things are what very very important. So I think somebody saying something in the comment section. So we're going to get to all of that beauty. So we're going to just stick with me. We'll get to all of the fun and amazing parts of this entire session. So now let's pause here and ask the big question basically. Why should anyone, no matter their background, consider cybersecurity? Basically, first, look at the numbers, look at the statistics. Over 3.5 million jobs worldwide are what unfilled. That means there are what opportunities everywhere, and the demand is only what growing. Because the more everything is being digitalized these days, the more the security that is needed. So it keeps increasing. And secondly, the demand what outstrips what supply. There's simply what there isn't enough people to fill in this roles, this position. And the best part is what companies aren't looking for what just basically the main technical guys, the coders. They need people with what wide range of skills. Which brings me to the third point here, which says what skills from what diverse backgrounds. And what these skills from diverse backgrounds, they matter. Maybe you've worked in business, education, law, or healthcare. All of these experiences what translate into what cybersecurity. So therefore, you bring your what perspective that I want you to bring your perspective that pure tech people what may not have, because you are coming from what different background. All those skills you are using in your previous background, you are going to what utilize them here. So here's the one I love asking the most. So what's your current background, be it business, law, education, healthcare, or something else? Just drop it in the chat box so we can see the diversity in the room, and soon we'll link all of this background to core cybersecurity roles and position. So let me hear from everyone. Basically, your background, be it law, business, tech, finance. Let me just hear from everyone. So let's go again. Let's hear from, let's know our background. Okay, Yolanda says nursing. Okay, that's good. So basically what? Healthcare. Ibebi says what? Finance. Okay, I have my finance people here. Where are my other people? My other healthcare people. Okay, Temitayo says technician. Okay, Temitayo, what type of technician? Let me know. Where are my other people? Healthcare. Where are the other healthcare people? Education, law, business, uh, other backgrounds. Basically, let me see more people in the comment section. So I know, like, we have a whole lot of what background. Okay, Tony says what? Business. Uh, okay, and Julia says what? Health and what? Safety. So Yolanda, nursing. Um, Tony, business. Temitayo, okay, gadget, which is also technician. So basically, somebody Beauty says, what's the question? Sorry. So the question is just, we're trying to what, know each and every one of us background so we can connect it to the skills that we want to pursue, which is cybersecurity. Okay, project manager. Ferdinand says project manager. Kevin says what? Engineering. This is good. I'm happy that I have a whole lot of what? Diverse background here, which will make things very easy for me. So, okay, so let's continue. Would now start to what? All of these backgrounds that we have, we'll start to see how what they play in what cybersecurity along the line. So we'll start to see that. Now, let's tackle one of what the biggest myth out there, that is that cybersecurity is only for what super technical people or for hackers in old days where most of us know basically. So that stereotype couldn't be further, couldn't be what farther from truth, to be very honest. That's a stereotype. So first, research shows that what 74% of breaches are caused by what? Human error. So that means things like weak passwords, clicking phishing email, or misconfiguration every day what makes mistakes. This is where what mistakes are coming from. And the solution basically to all of these things is what? Awareness, training, and basically what? Better processes. So for those of us in what education sector, this is what something that what would fit into this role, basically. Enlightening people into, oh, this is how to do this. Oh, don't use a big password here. This is how you should what do all of this and what all of that. Now, secondly, look at this. Cybersecurity has non-tech point entry, like a whole lot of them, from people from law, psychology, healthcare, like Yolanda has said, businesses like Tony has said, basically in any field, because all of these entry points are needed in cybersecurity because each of these entry points what bring what its own what unique skills. For example, like what? Regulation, human behavior, and risk. Like Tony that's into business, he already understands what risk what his business face. You understand the day in, day out business that what his business faced. So that way, when you bring that type of mindset into cybersecurity, you already know that what the risk that what each infrastructure, each data, each network, each organization digitally, you already know what the risk that they face. And also for people also into people into healthcare, there are different things that you would work with under healthcare, like protecting patients' data, privacy. All of those things are what would come into place. I'll still share more light on all of these things going forward. And thirdly, there are so many diverse career paths. I've been saying this, there are so many diverse career paths. We have what? Compliance. We have what? Risk management. We have what? Social engineering prevention. We have security awareness. So all of these things are what This doesn't require you to be what I'm a programmer or I can code. They require you to be a what communicator, a trainer, a strategist, a problem solver, particularly. So that's what all of these roles inquire you to be. So you necessarily don't need to what have all of this what core technical skills before you what transition into what cybersecurity. Now, okay, before I start to take things too far and start to direct them back to what our backgrounds, before I start to do all of this, let's look at some of these roles and understand what they do and what the potential job compensation with them. So there are some common cybersecurity rules, but let me explain them in simple terms for you so we can all basically what have a proper understanding of it. So first one here is what information security what analyst. So this is the person as the security guard of the company's data basically because they monitor, investigate, and protect system. They basically like what, like I said, the security guard of the what organization. And you can also see the yearly salary from my screen, which is what 85,000. So information security analyst, once again, they are what basically what the security guard of the what company's data, company infrastructure. What they do, they monitor, investigate, and what protect system. So secondly, we have what security compliance analyst. So these are like rule enforcers. They make sure that a company is following laws, regulation around security, basically. So if you have anyone here from a law background, from a policy making background, basically from a compliance background, this is your role. This is a role that we want suit you. And next we have what security awareness and what training specialists. So this is the teacher of what cybersecurity, basically. They train staff so people don't fall for what scam and what phishing emails. So this is what basically security awareness and training specialists do. I know even some of us from the organization we currently work in, they would have posted like seminars or exercises where they bring in security person to come and speak to you, show you, oh, this is what you should do, how you should do all of this. Or sometimes companies use their what in-house security guys to do all of this. So that's also part of it. And on to the next one, we have what junior penetration testers. So these are basically like the ethical hackers. They try to what break into system legally so company can know what to fix. That's basically what the junior penetration tester, that's what it does. So from and the salary range starts between what 90K what upwards annually. And next we have what SOC analyst, which we call them what security operation center what analyst. These are like the first responder. They are the ones who sit in the front of the screen, watching alerts and jumping into when threats come up, basically. They work real time, like they look at the screen, oh, what is here? This is a threat. They hacked on it. So that's what the SOC analyst does. And we also have what network security engineer. They are basically like the architect. They build and what maintain secure networks, making outside attacks impossible to breach into the organization. That's basically what the network security engineer, that's what it does. And we also have what incident responder analysts. So we call these guys the firefighters of cybersecurity. That is, when a company is hacked, they jump into it and put out the fire. So they contain the damages and also what they still investigate. That's what the incident responder, that's what it does. And we also have what security consultant. So if you're into consulting here or advisor, basically, so this is what you do as a security consultant. You guide companies on the best steps to secure themselves, even at the beginner level, basically. You guide them to do what? All of these things. So after walking through all of these things, all of these roles and jobs I've walked through, looking at the list, which role do you think sounds exciting to you? Is it compliance analyst, SOC analyst, awareness training, or basically? So let me hear from you guys. Which role do you think what resonates with you more? So let me hear from you guys. I'll be in this comment section reading out comments from you guys, from everyone, from all of these roles. Which one do you think what befits you? Okay, where are my guys? Where are my guys? Okay, Yolanda says 9, which is what incident responder analyst. That's good. That's good. I like that. You want to be like the firefighters. Yeah, I get that. Okay, Ola says what awareness. That's a good one. That's a good one. Then I'm still expecting more response. Remy says Remy says what 3 security awareness specialist. Okay, I'm guessing Remy likes to enlighten people or show them the right path. Okay, where are my other guys? Where are my other guys? Where are my other guys? Okay, once again, please don't forget that my colleagues will be dropping. You see certain link in the comment section where you are commenting. So once you feel that, you'll be able to have like what the recording of this session and also have the material I'm using basically. So don't forget to fill that, just your details. Okay, let me pick. Okay, Julius also, security awareness. Okay, Oyebimpe says security compliance and IT auditor. That's a good choice also. So I'm guessing you like to you guys need to fix this. Oh, what is wrong here? Like to audit people. Okay, and Temitayo says what network security engineer. Okay, that's another good one. Charles says what compliance. Then Josiah says what security awareness. Okay, Kelvin says what GRC. So I hear everyone, and this is why you're here. This is why you're in this session, because for you to what fulfill all of these job roles that you want to pursue, for you to break into what tech, and even those that are what into tech, this is why you're here. This session will help you see that what you can do all of these things. That is all of the skills that you basically have right now. They are skills that what you can take into what your new job. So looking at it, and I've seen the roles that are what exciting to what everyone. So I I understand that. So now let's move forward to what unlocking your cyber superpowers. Like I've said, depending on your background, there's a natural fit for you here. So we already know that what if you're in law or a thing, you have a thing for policy, you have a thing for what compliance, you have a thing for what um following instructions basically, following regulatory bodies, you have a thing for all of that. We already know that what compliance, cyber law is for you. Basically, also if you're a lawyer, we already know all of this. Guess what? Cyber law and what compliance is your lane. So for those of us what in education background, we have what security awareness, um, security awareness for you, and even what you can even furthermore with what academic research. But all of these things doesn't just stick to what one entire background. You can be from other background, and because you have passion for that, you can also go for what all of these things. So if you're also what into business, like Tony, who is into business. So Tony can go for what governance, risk, and what compliance. And also what you can still even furthermore go into what risk management. If you're into business, finance, and all of that, like Tony has said. So you can what go into all of these things, GRC, which is what your name. And like Kevin also has also said, GRC. So you can pursue that with us by joining Tenalytics, basically. So lastly, if you're also into what healthcare, like Yolanda, for example, Yolanda can go into what healthcare privacy, that is what EPA, and I'm sure you're already familiar with what patient data. You already know how healthcare basically, how hospitals are with protecting what cost their patient what information. You already know what all of these things basically. So you can also still do what clinical what data protection. So that's basically what these are the superpowers, because your background doesn't what it's not a challenge for you, rather an advantage for you to leverage on than people that are just coming from what pure tech. So you have a skill from your previous business. So you can leverage on that for us to what for you to what excel in this background. So basically that's it on what unlocking our cyber superpowers by using of what our background. So now, how do you want to succeed in what cybersecurity basically? So first things first, in succeeding in cybersecurity, let's talk about the skills for you to have a career that you want. Let's talk about the skills. Many people worry, oh, I don't have the technical skills, so I can't do cybersecurity. Like I've said countless times, yeah, that is a what? Myth. Cybersecurity also need what? Strong communication, problem solvers, detail-oriented people, critical thinkers, and also people that can document processes. Documentation, which is another very, very important one, and also communication. So these are skills that you already have in your current job. So think of this as a way to your cybersecurity castle. The tech experts build walls, but it's people like you who write the rules, who train like the guards, who train like the users, who keep things running smoothly. So basically, all of these things that you have are very much what needed. All of your soft skills, they are very much what needed in cybersecurity. So I don't want you to think, oh, I'm left out here, I'm left out there. So now, how do you succeed in cybersecurity without a tech degree? Basically, in these four steps, first things first, you need to cultivate your what? A learning mindset. That is what? Be curious. Why is this like this? Why is that like this? I mean, we can all tell technology evolve every day. Just a few days ago, iPhone 17 came out. So iPhone 16 is already what? An old one. It evolves. So as our technology is evolving, as what we are learning is evolving, we also need to what? Cultivate the habit to what? Learn. Be curious, like I said. Secondly, gain practical experience. Like having a portfolio stacked with projects, which is one of the things we are big on here at Analytics with our participants. If you know anyone that is in analytics right now, everyone has a portfolio stacked with what? Projects, practical experience, like real world, what you do in the real world, that's what you do with us. And also build your network that is connected with professionals and also what community. Because here you're studying with with like minds. You're studying with what like minds, people of the same motivation with you. So connect with them. Networking I mean, we all know that networking what helps us better in the long term. And lastly, stay ahead of the curve. Like keep learning. Always watch out for updates, basically. These are like the things that will help you along the line. So you just don't stop, oh, because I'm here, I'm that, I'm going to stop. I've known enough. No, you need to what, stay ahead of the curve. Watch out for updates, like I've said. So basically, I want to show us like interesting, um, quite an interesting tool that we use as cybersecurity experts. So I'll be talking about Shodan. Now, I want you to know that I won't be using like all of these big words, so we just understand what Shodan is. So I will show what Shodan is, but I just want to explain first. So I want you to think of Shodan as the Google for devices. Why Google shows us like websites and all of that, Shodan shows us what? Webcams, servers, routers, anything basically that is connected to the internet. That's what Shodan shows us. So for example, imagine walking through like an entire neighborhood and being able to see inside of every house with open curtain. So imagine being able to do that. That's exactly what Shodan does. And trust me, this isn't illegal because what? It just shows us what is already exposed online. So this is why cybersecurity matters, because a lot of companies out there, what they have, a lot of big companies, they can't keep track of whatever they have in their infrastructure, basically. So most of these things are what out there for attackers to see, basically. So because so much is visible, that organization, they don't know about it. So that's basically what Shodan does for us. So for the rationale behind why we are using Shodan as our little case study today is because what it makes invisible what visible. Companies often don't realize that their devices are what online. So Shodan helps professionals and also, yes, also attackers. It also help attackers find them basically. So it's like what shining a flashlight in a dark room and seeing everything that is hidden basically. So this shows us basically what why cybersecurity careers are so important, that we need people to help organizations what identify all of these gaps before attackers basically and hackers what exploit them basically. So that's what Shodan what helps us with. And this is our case study for today. So it's just like a little case study that we will what be working on Cedar what enterprise. So for example, so with this case study, it just basically means that what were currently working for what Cedar Enterprise. So they use cameras, routers, cloud servers to operate, but they didn't realize that all of these devices were visible online through Shodan. So that's like leaving your company office door basically what unlocked without saying, oh, come in, oh, come, oh, stay there, don't pass there. Just basically what everything you have is on the what internet. So our role in cybersecurity is to find these exposures, secure them, and make sure the company doesn't what lose money, customer, and reputation. So this case study will show how we can all what apply our what risk awareness and also what prevention. So basically, let me just show us what Shodan looks like. So it's not going to be like, oh, I've just been talking and talking and talking. Let me bring up my screen and show what Shodan looks like. So this is what Shodan looks like basically. So as you can see from here, so it's just basically shodan.io from my screen here, shodan.io. Then it's just going to bring this for you. So what we can do, like I said, Shodan is basically Google for what? Internet of Things. That is everything on the internet. You can see it. And this is what legal. It's not, we're not doing anything illegal because what, like I said, anything on the internet, everyone can see it. The ones you can't see is because what they have what good security. That is what good cybersecurity team. So let's start from the interesting ones. Let's look for CCTVs that they have that is just basically on the internet that we can have access to. So I'm just going to search what CCTV basically. Then this is what Shodan will do. It would give me like what you can see from here, total results. You can see what 3,533 CCTV cameras that are open on the internet that you can have access to. So you can even see the top countries that what all of these CCTV cameras what. Imagine in your country, in your organization, you guys have what CCTV camera in your server room. You have it where your servers are placed. You have it basically everywhere in the organization, and somebody from the outside world can access all of this. So this is you can even see top countries where all of these CCTV are located. 984 from Indonesia, 605 from Thailand, 237 from United Kingdom, 118 from United States, and Bangladesh 116. And you can see what port. So port are basically what all of these devices on the internet communicate basically. A port are basically how they pass through communication. They are basically for communication. And interestingly, you can also see what these IP addresses here. You can see this one. IP addresses are basically what devices on the internet use to communicate. The rest, because we all know that what computers don't understand A to Z. What they understand is what ones and zeros, like we all know. So they use this IP address to what communicate with each other. So now you can see the IP addresses of what all of these devices. You can see them exposed here. It will even give you what so many information like the name of the CCTV, the vendor particularly that the CCTV is being brought from. Let me increase my screen just a minute so we can have a better view of what I'm talking about here. So you can even see, okay, this one is in Indonesia, Jakarta. So you can see the host name here. You can see the name of the CCTV. You can see the vendor of the CCTV also. So on to the next one. You can even see this one. This one is even showing us what the uptime. You can see the description. This is the name. You can see the services running on it, version also. All of these things are what. So if I know the type of CCTV that a particular company is using, I can just go to the internet. Oh, is this version of this CCTV vulnerable? Or what are the um security deviation that this CCTV has, or security exposure that I can use to exploit this CCTV and basically log into it. So it's giving you what so many information that is what not supposed to be out there. So you can even see this one. This one is even showing us CCTV FTP server, help command not understood, fit command not, is even giving you a whole lot of information. I know this might look like, oh, you don't understand what I'm saying right now, but by the time you get on this program and you have access to all of this information, you will understand the risk that all of these organizations that have their CCTV and other information what out here, you will understand it. It's not only CCTV we can look for. We can look for our remote desktop protocol also. So basically what remote desktop is, remote desktop enables administrator to be able to log into certain server from their house, like, especially for most of us that will be working remotely, or you're trying to access the server at your company, this remote desktop that you can use to log into it, as far as what you have the credentials and also the VPN to connect to it. So now imagine how many remote desktop results do we have out here? We have what? 6,889 of remote desktop. That is, you can have access to all of these people's server if they don't use what? Proper credentials, like a strong credentials. Like this one is using what? Microsoft RPC endpoints over HTTP. So basically, it gives you what? Several information about several things about there. And what these attackers just need is what? Certain information. Oh, for instance, I'm using iPhone, but nobody knows I'm using an iPhone. So if I come to show them, oh, iPhone, then Shodan is going to show them, oh, I'm using what? iPhone 5, which is a very outdated one and has what? Serious security patches. It has even reached end of life. That way they can look for vulnerabilities about what I'm using and use that one to what? Act against me. So basically, that is what basically what Shodan what does for us. That's the work of Shodan. It shows you what your company what has out there. That's what Shodan what shows us. So let me go into the comment section to see if there are questions for me so far. Before I continue. So Akash, basically the links that are dropping, that my colleagues are dropping, are just for you to be able to have what? The recording of this session and also the material slides that I'll be using for you to go through them over again. I think that's what Akash is asking. So if anyone has a question for me before I go for that, please just do so in the comment section so I can answer all of that for you. So I'm waiting for the question. So now we've seen where what do you prepare your student for CompTIA? Yes, basically. So the things will be okay. Baluza, yes, basically. So because of the approach in which we follow like a full scale security project flow. So you will be touching what all of those things, and we can even grant you what if you have questions on or certain things or you want to prepare for exam, we can give you things to even study more on. But our project and our program workflow would cover you for CompTIA Security Plus? That's a very good question, Baluza. Thank you for asking that. Yes, absolutely. So, more questions, please, from everyone. Just basically any question you have for me, I would answer that. So now we showed them that we've worked on, we can now see how much of digital footprint of different organizations that are out there. So a company might have a server, a camera, router basically online that they forgot about, but what we showed them, we were able to see what all of that. So now here's the good news. You don't have to be, like I always say, you don't have to be a programmer, hacker to help solve all of this problem. Cybersecurity isn't just about writing code. That's why I'm emphasizing on all of this. It's about what? Spotting risk. Don't forget, we use Shodan to spot all of this risk that certain organizations have certain things out there that are not supposed to be out there. Now, writing policies, training staff, and making sure that what curtains are what closed before anyone can what peek inside, basically. So that's when non-tech roles shine, basically. A compliance analyst will make sure that the company follows rules to avoid all of this exposure that Shodan is showing. A risk manager would what ask hard question. Okay, what if someone finds this? A training specialist what like security awareness. The guys picking security awareness. They would teach employee how to not accidentally what click on what phishing email or how to not bring in attackers, basically. And you don't need what a computer science degree to do what all of these things that we've been talking about. So Shodan isn't just like an hacker's toy, it's a wake-up call. It shows us that what cybersecurity is basically for everyone. And maybe the person who helps to close this curtain in the future could be what one of us here, basically. So it could be any of us here. So are we giving jobs after? So okay, Akinade. So what we do is after your program, even along the line with your program, we have like a whole lot of jobs that what our participants would apply for every week. Different amount of jobs are being what uploaded to our portal. There's a portal where different we have what different jobs. We update that regularly for our participants, basically. So they go there to what apply for jobs. When you have interviews, we come in on that. I mean, this part will be explained more by my colleague Priscilla going forward. So basically, so now where do you begin? The first step is what you've chosen the right career path based on your background and skills. And some parts are quicker to get into, while some require basically more training, but all are rewarding. So you don't need to be, what I'm trying to say is you don't need to be an overnight expert. What you need is what? Curiosity, willingness to learn, and guidance to transition. And that's exactly what we provide here. So the bridge from where you are right now and where you want to be is why you're in this session. And the person that will highlight more on that is what? My colleague. So now I'll be passing the baton to my colleague to just what? Walk you through everything toe to toe and end to end on how what you can move forward from being where you are to where you want to be. So hi Priscilla. Um Priscilla, you're muted. So hi Priscilla, you're muted.
All right, so I wasn't a host, and that's why I was finding it really difficult to unmute. Oyindamola, if you don't mind, please just make me a co-host as well. So, Toyib,
Okay.
can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, I can
All
hear
right,
you. I
thank
can hear
you.
you.
Thank you so much so far. So, hi, everybody. My name is Priscilla, and I'll be picking up the session from here. If you've had a good time so far, please leave a yes in the chat. So, I'm sure that you must have heard some of the career path that you can transition into in case you're a non-techie and you're looking to go into cybersecurity, you're quite unsure. You've heard that cybersecurity is very technical, right? But there are absolutely beautiful career paths that you can go into. And then I'll talk to you from where you can get started right on the course. I can see Baby, I can see Akiade, I can see Beauty, I can see Yolande. It's so beautiful to have you here. So I'll pick it up from where my colleague left off, basically talk you through how you can get started, what analytics analytics has to offer you, and now you can transition into tech via analytics, right? Now, the very point of, or the very beginning, the very place where you need to get started is by selecting the right career path. And for everybody on this call, I think I want to make a very wild guess to, say that it seems like everybody on this call is interested in cyber security. So how do you get started, basically? Now, if you heard my colleague, at the beginning of the session, when he was talking through the introduction, you must have heard that here at Analytics, we're only focused on 8 career paths in tech. And this is very intentional for us. Now, the whole point of all of this, right? The whole point of being in business is just to ensure that we're teaching you and you're able to get a job. Tech is absolutely broad, right? We needed to ensure that whatever career path it is you're getting into with analytics, you'll be able to get a job. There's a demand for the career path. So what we did was to first of all do what is called our data analysis on different job posts, right? Because we're trying to look for the career path that people can easily transition into, right? Career path that you can learn that is in demand today and one that would continuously be in demand. Okay, so we did our job analysis and we also had certain criteria: ease of learning, regardless of your background, being a caregiver, a healthcare assistant, a student, a teacher, name it, regardless of your background, can you easily learn any of these career paths within a duration, right? 6 months, 8 months, right? Can you also easily transition? You don't have a degree in tech or any of sort. Can you get a job after learning? Right? And then can you also get a job that pays you well? On the chat, somebody mentioned that they want a remote job, one that pays them well as well. This is the focus for us here at Analytics, right? And the cybersecurity career path fits into the criteria. Ease of learning, it is something that we can teach you so long as you have the interest. I know that majority of us here on this call, we're non-techies and we're looking to go into cybersecurity, right? So long as you have the interest, Analytics is here to teach you, and make your transitioning into cybersecurity seamless. Ease of learning. You don't have to go back to school for a master's to get a certification before you can get a job as a cybersecurity professional, right? Then high rewarding salary as well. Now, after we were able to, come up with these 8 career paths, which we have cybersecurity as one of them, we also needed to do what is called external validation. Now, we needed to check, okay, this is what our analysis is. We also needed to validate our analysis to see, is there any other body that, is saying something that will corroborate our story, our analysis? And what we did was to, consult the Future of Jobs report by the World Economic Forum. Right? So the World Economic Forum is made up of your tech leaders, your Elon, your Jeff Bezos, and the likes, and they chart the course for different career paths. Now, I attached a snippet of the, report that was released in January here on this slide, for you to go through when you get this slide. Right now, according to the World Economic Forum, the Future of Jobs report, what they have to say is they're setting career path in tech that would grow, right, in the next couple of years, and they're setting career path in tech that will decline. Absolutely, if you want to transition into tech, you want to get into a career path that is not just in demand today, but one that would, easily grow, right? So you don't lose out on jobs and then you don't have to start from the scratch again. Now, on this slide, you would see a snippet of, a page of the report, right? And it shows you the jobs that would grow and the jobs that will decline. To the right, you would see the jobs that will decline, right? And then to the left, you'd see the jobs that would continuously grow. And guess what? The cybersecurity is one of those roles that would continuously grow in demand. You see the security management specialists, these are roles in cybersecurity. The Internet of Things specialists, the information security analysts, these are roles in cybersecurity, right? That would grow within the next couple of years. Okay, so absolutely, if you're looking to get started as a cybersecurity professional, you are in the clear. You are in a safe space because getting into cybersecurity now, there's a demand for cybersecurity professionals, right? And that demand is not declining anytime soon. Okay, so I also attached a report here so that you can see how interesting this cybersecurity career path is. Now, according to the first point here, you'd see that the US cybersecurity job listing jumped 12% from May 2024 to April 2025, with over 514,000 roles posted. So what this means is there's a demand for cybersecurity professionals, but there's a yet. Yet there are only enough qualified professionals to fill 74 out of every 100 jobs, right? So we don't have enough people in cybersecurity yet. And if you're looking to transition, right, there's a demand for cybersecurity professional. Let's just jump to the third point. You see, across businesses, 87% experienced a breach last year, with many losing over $1 million due to lack of skilled cybersecurity staff. So what more do you need, to let you know that this cybersecurity space that you're looking to go into is one that, is still fresh in demand, and is one that would, give you that goal of actually landing a job in tech. So I also attach why this should matter to you. First point is demand is surging, but supply isn't keeping pace. You could be among the first to fill key high impact roles. So absolutely there's a demand for cybersecurity professionals, whether you want to stay in the healthcare industry, in finance and all of that, there is a demand for cybersecurity professionals. And then the industry recognizes skills over credentials. Here at Analytics, we have this common, phrase that says, competence over certification. So as somebody looking to get into cybersecurity, your focus shouldn't be on certification just yet, because regardless of how much certification you're able to amass, if you don't have the skills, if you don't have the experience, you're going nowhere. So your focus should first of all be on how do I get the skills? How do I get the experience needed to excel in this role as a cybersecurity professional? Right? So this is why this should matter to you. First, there's a demand for cybersecurity professionals, and starting out, certifications shouldn't be your focus. What should be your focus is, gaining experience, right? Getting the right skills, and then building competence over time. And this is why we're here at Analytics. So you're looking to get into cybersecurity. This is $1 million question. What skills? What are the things you need to learn, to get into cybersecurity? That will put you in that space where you get into interviews and you're able to confidently speak to recruiters and talk to them about your experience. Now, on this slide, you get to see the key learning areas, right? This contains things that you need to learn if you're looking to get into cybersecurity. It also has some of the tools that you'll be learning if you're looking to, get into cybersecurity with Analytics. Now, the first thing you Analytics is overview of cybersecurity. One thing we've done with our program is to ensure that it gives you multiple entry points. Now, with the Analytics cybersecurity program, you learn how to be a SOC analyst, a security operations center analyst. These are the guys that would, try to do the network monitoring, do the log analysis to spot for unusual activities going on. Right? Then you have the pen testers, the ethical hackers. These are the guys that would think like the bad hackers. There are 2 steps ahead of them, right? Trying to get into the company's system with the company's permission, right? They try to get into the company's application, their website, try to break into it, and block off all those vulnerabilities that the bad hackers would prey on, right? So that is your pen testers or your ethical hackers. Then you have the GRC officers, the governance, risk, and compliance officers. So you get to learn all 3 roles here at Analytics, right? And the different tools and technologies, that you need to use if you're going into any of these roles. Then you also get information security principles and risk management. This is one thing you need to learn if you're looking to get into cybersecurity. Then you get into introduction to network security, threats, and vulnerabilities. You also have your SOC roles and responsibilities. So at this time, you're delving into SOC analysis, what it means to be a SOC analyst, what it means to go into log analysis and network monitoring. Then you have threat detection and response. You also have incident response and threat intelligence lifecycle, open source intelligence gathering, malware analysis and threat actor profiling. Then you move on to pen testing. right? You also get to learn vulnerability scanning and network reconnaissance, the various exploitation techniques. You learn governance and compliance framework, your ISO 27001, your NIST and the likes. You also get to learn compliance audits and policy development, as well as security awareness training and reporting. Now, if you're looking to get into cybersecurity, these are the things you absolutely need to learn. And right here at Analytics, the way our learning is structured is such a way that you're learning by working on projects. We strongly believe that theories don't get you the job. And remember, the key focus for us here at Analytics is how can we help you learn, not just learn, but also get a job. At the point where you're applying to job, recruiters would ask you for experience, right? They don't want people that are just newbies without any experience. So how do you learn and gain experience? So much so that after 6 months of learning, after 8 months, your entire learning timeline, you are able to get a job. It is absolutely by working on projects. If you think about it, right, the way that mid-level staff are able to move up the ladder, right, to senior level and all of that, it's just by the experience they've been able to gather. And thinking about it, what gives them the experience? The projects they've worked on, right? The skills they've been able to build over time. That is the same way you get to learn here at Analytics. You learn by working on projects. So much so that when you're going to apply for a job as a SOC analyst and they tell you, oh, tell us one time where you did any log analysis or network monitoring, you are able to confidently speak to that because you worked on a project that gave you the much needed experience that recruiters are looking for. So as a beginner looking to transition into cybersecurity, there's only one way to do that successfully. It is by learning in a project-based environment, gaining the hands-on skills. Right? And that is why we're here at Analytics, to teach you so much so that you're able to build a portfolio with all of the projects you've worked on at the end of the day. Because if I was a recruiter and you come to me and tell me that, oh, I'm a SOC analyst, right? There's only one place I want to go to ascertain your level of experience and skills, and that is your portfolio. Okay, so at the end of the day, after you're done learning at Analytics, you're learning by working on the project will give you the much needed experience. You get to have that in a portfolio where you can showcase to any recruiter any day, anytime. So regardless of if you're a beginner or not, you're learning, you're building experience, you have a portfolio that you can showcase to recruiter, and you are able to start applying to jobs. This is what we offer to you here at Analytics. Now, the entire learning timeline at Analytics is for 8 months, right? You have an immersive and intensive learning for 6 months, and you have 2 months of internship. Now, with your learning, it is best for every single person that is looking to transition to learn in a blended learning environment. Because to be honest with you, a lot of us have multiple shifts that we have to go to. We also have family that we have to attend to. So what we've done here at Analytics is to put all of that into consideration and to ensure that you are learning, in a blended learning environment. What this gives to you is you have a live class where you can interact with the facilitator, right? You have a live class where you can work on projects with your colleagues and the facilitator, and all of that. Then you also get to learn at your convenience. Now, for your live classes, out of 4 Saturdays in a month, you're only required to be in a live class for 2 out of those 4 Saturdays, right? 2 out of 4 Saturdays, right? You're required to be in a live class, and each live class spans for 3 hours, just 3 hours in a Saturday. Now, we have the morning and the evening class. Now, with the morning class, it is best for people in Europe, UK, Africa, because it is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, which is UK time as well, right? Then we have the evening class, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. And for people in North America, Canada, US, that is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So it is really dependent on you. If you figure that you work in the mornings and you'd rather prefer to learn in the evening, absolutely, you can go for the evening class, right? If the morning class works for you, absolutely. So you choose either of them, and then you get to attend class for 3 hours. right? Now, you get to do that 2 Saturdays out of 4 in a month. And the rest of the days, you're learning at your convenience. That is where you have the self-paced. Now, with the self-paced, you have been able to break down projects into bits, right? The tools you'll be using and all of that. And you're giving access to all of these videos, all of these resources for you to go through at your convenience. So I'm more like a morning person, and I like to learn within the hours of 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Now, what learning at your convenience does for you is you can choose to learn at any time that you want. So if you have 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. to spare on Sunday, you have access to platform that contains resources where you can go ahead to learn. So as a beginner, you're learning in an environment that, takes flexibility really seriously. Right. So you get to learn in a live class with a facilitator, with an instructor, and you also get to learn at your convenience. This is what you get at Tenalytics. And this is how every single person should approach learning. Right? This is how every single person should approach learning. Now, what we've done here at Analytics, like I said, remember the focus is not just on learning, but how are you able to get a job after learning? So I'll just talk you through 2 success stories. The first here on my screen is Adetayo. So with no prior experience, he was able to transition into cybersecurity seamlessly, right? With no prior experience. So if you're that person in the healthcare space, in the finance industry, and you have a business, you're looking to transition into cybersecurity, this is somebody whose story, amongst the plethora of people that we have, you can lean on to basically. Right, with zero experience. He didn't even have to complete the training program, before he was able to get a job. And this is how we take jobs seriously here at Analytics, right? So I've attached a link to his testimonial here, and you can go through that. Just fill the feedback form. You get access to it, and you can go through that at your own time. Then we have Chukwebuka here. So Chukwebuka, from being a solutions analyst to a security operations analyst in Ireland. Right. And what he did was to absolutely come into the cybersecurity program here at Analytics. We also have some sort of job equation formula, which I'll be talking you through, something you can plug into so that you are able to get a job as a cybersecurity professional afterwards. So what I want you to do as soon as you get access to this slide is to take your time, go through their testimonials. There's a link to them. If you click here to watch, just click on the link here and you'll be able to listen to them talk to you about their experience here at Analytics. Adetayo, from being an absolute beginner. Imagine somebody just starting out, say I was a teacher and I'm just starting out, and I want to get into cybersecurity. Now, I'm first of all learning in an environment where I'm gaining the much needed skills. I'm working on projects. So much so that if every other person goes to learn how to become a cybersecurity professional and they're learning theories, I'm standing out because I'm gaining the skills much needed to land a job. Right? So these are people that have been able to walk the talk, and we absolutely have a strategy that will land you the job in 2025. Right? And what is the strategy? The job equation formula, right? Which says that to get a job as a cybersecurity professional, you need the technical skills and you also need the employability skills. So you combine the both of them and you're able to stand out even as a beginner looking to transition into cybersecurity. Now, you see the key learning areas that we talked through, the log analysis, the network monitoring, the pen testing, and all of that. That is not enough to get you the job. Right? So what you need, aside from the technical skills, are your employability skills. And this is why we're here at Tenalytics. So basically, with the employability skills, what we've done here at Tenalytics is to ensure that you get to stand out and you're positioned rightly for a job. Now, think of yourself as a beginner. You're looking to get into cybersecurity. You're trying to learn, right? And at the point where you need to apply to jobs, you need to submit your CV. Right? And what we've done here at Analytics is 2 months into the training, we have what is called the CV review and revamp. Okay. And with this, we get to provide you with a standard cybersecurity format, CV format that beats the applicant tracking system any day, anytime. right? So you're able to tailor your CV according to that format, right? And then you submit your CV back to us. Imagine somebody telling you, okay, this is how you can tailor your CV. After you are done tailoring your CV, submit it back to me. Let me review. So we have professionals that would review your CV and give you personalized feedback. Or you can, pull your work summary this way, your professional experience and all of that. You can put it this way. Because you want to get a job as a cybersecurity professional, you need to ensure that your CV, is tailored to suit the role of a cybersecurity professional. Now, after gaining all those skills you'll be gaining here at Analytics, say you want to apply for a job as a SOC analyst, or you want to apply for a job as a pen tester. At the point of application, you need to ensure that your CV is tailored to suit that role. Right? Because every single job description carries keywords that are peculiar to the job, and the applicant tracking system will be sieving for these keywords. So you want to apply for a job, you have to ensure that your CV is tailored, which is something we get to teach our participants how to do here at Analytics. Right? Now, one thing we also encourage our participants to do is put on your CV that you're working for Analytics as a consultant or a contractor. Now, you're able to confidently put that on your CV and defend it just because of the way you're learning. You're learning by gaining experience, right? You're learning by working on projects. Projects would help you build your competence, build your skills. They would help you gain experience. So much so that if you have on your CV that you've worked for Analytics as a cybersecurity or a SOC analyst consultant or a contractor, we're able to provide you with a job description that summarizes all the projects you'll be working on and their impacts. So you have that on your CV and you can showcase to any recruiter any day, anytime. Imagine yourself as an absolute beginner, right? Starting out without any experience. But when you want to apply to jobs, recruiters would ask you to tell them about your experience. Right? They even want to see that on your CV. So with Analytics, you're able to build experience, work on projects, and on your CV, you have a work experience, right? So you're able to have Analytics as your work experience, and that you can showcase to any recruiter any day, anytime. Right? Now, after we've been able to achieve this with our CV review and revamp, we have what is called the LinkedIn optimization. Because in as much as you are building, you're gaining the skills and all of that, you have to put yourself out there. So a couple of times our participants have been able to get jobs from LinkedIn because of how they are positioned on LinkedIn, because of how they've managed to position themselves as thought leaders. Right? So one thing we do here at Analytics is to help you and teach you how to put yourself out there. So you're a cybersecurity professional. Your LinkedIn profile has to carry the right keywords of a cybersecurity professional. So much so that if a recruiter is looking to fill up a role in your location, and they search on LinkedIn, what we do here at Analytics is most of the times when we're looking to, fill up roles, we go on LinkedIn and we search. Right? So if a recruiter in your location is looking to fill up a role, say a SOC analyst or a pen testing role, or even the cybersecurity analyst role, and they go right there on LinkedIn and search, your name will be among the top searches because your LinkedIn profile is properly optimized. It has the right keywords, it has Analytics as your work experience, you have a link to your portfolio. Right? And you also have posts right there on LinkedIn that are showcasing your experience. This is something you also get with Analytics. Then we teach you how to navigate the job market. Because a lot of us, or somehow, some way, manage to believe that, the tech space is saturated, there are no jobs. But guess what? We've just seen in that report that the demand for cybersecurity analysts are on the rise. And you as a beginner, what you need is basically how you can apply to these jobs and how you can stand out. So what we've done with navigating the job market is to teach you how to apply to jobs. Not just that, we were also able to subscribe to premium job boards across the major economies, the US, the UK, Canada, right? We subscribe to premium job boards across these economies and we provide them to you. So what this means is you're not paying, apart from your normal job boards that you have access to, your Glassdoor, your LinkedIn, your read.co.uk and the likes, you also have have access to exclusive roles that you don't have to pay for, but you can apply for because we've done the heavy lifting. We've been able to pay for them and we give them to you on a weekly basis. So much so that all you have to do is just come and apply to a job. Right? So you have your CV ready, you have your portfolio ready, you have the job, right there for you to apply to. Right? You have remote job opportunities, you have on-site roles, you have visa sponsorship roles and the likes. All you need to do is just apply. Then, of course, we have the interview preparation because you're starting out as a beginner, or even if you're not a beginner, you're looking to go into a new terrain, right? You have an interview coming up. So how do you stand out? So what we've done here at Analytics is as soon as you have an interview coming up, just reach back to us. Right? And what we'll do is to get your CV from you and we'll do our research on the company. So we're able to preempt the questions you're likely to get. They'll definitely ask you to answer competency-based questions. They would ask you to introduce yourself. As simple as it sounds, introduce yourself. A lot of us would usually find that very, very difficult. Right. So if you have an interview coming up, all you have to do is just come back to Analytics, right? And you would have a professional that would prep you in detail for the interview that you have coming up. Then, of course, job reference letter. Remember on your CV that you have that you're working for Analytics as a consultant or a contractor, right? And recruiters will definitely reach out to us. Did this person actually work for you? So what we've done is you have that on your CV. We're able to provide you with recommendation letters that will tell good stories of you, your qualities and all of that. Right? Then we have on-the-job support as well. Now with this is a service that we provide to our participants, although a lot of people don't usually come back for this because, it is 6 months of immersive learning. You build the right skills, you're gaining the experience and all of that. But if you get a job and you don't know how to go about it, you're given a couple of tasks and you don't know how to go about it, you can come back to Analytics. Right? And you'd have somebody, helping you, providing you the support that you need. Then, of course, you have weekly mentorship sessions. You absolutely, as starting out as a beginner, you absolutely need people that have walked the talk, people that have gotten jobs, people that know what it means to be in the industry, in the terrain, so that they talk you through the do's and the don'ts, people that would offer you mentorship. And that is what you get with Analytics. Registering for our training program on a weekly basis, you have access to mentors every single week. Right? We have global recruiters, we have the co-founders of Analytics. We also have people that have gotten jobs, right? You're learning from these people. Imagine starting out as a beginner and you have access to mentors, right? People that you can easily go to ask questions and all of that. This is what we give you here at Analytics. And of course, Upwork optimization. So Upwork is a freelance platform where you can go there, do some really quick gigs and then get your money easily. So you decide to work on a contract basis, right? So we teach you how to optimize your Upwork profile so you're able to get a job. So this is how you get to stand out, the technical skills and the employability skills, because all of this put together, showcases your experience. You have work experience right there on your CV. You have a portfolio. Your LinkedIn profile is well optimized. Tell me, how are you not getting that job? Right? This is absolutely how you stand out at Analytics. Of course, the program duration is for 8 months. So you have 6 months of learning, which will be done with Analytics, and 2 months of internship, which will be done with a company called Amdari. Now, Amdari is a company that is registered in London. And at the end of the day, you have the opportunity of putting Analytics and Amdari as your work experience. Analytics is registered in Canada. So for those of us that are really bothered about Canadian experience, on your CV, you have that I've worked with Analytics as a cybersecurity consultant or contractor. You also have, for those of us that are in UK and we're really worried about UK-based experience, you have Amdari, to put on your CV as your work experience. And remember, you're able to confidently do that because of the way you're learning. Right? You're learning by working on projects, by building the experience, so much so that when you have on your CV that you've worked for a Canadian company and you've also worked for a company that is registered in London, a UK-based company, and a recruiter tells you, okay, tell us about the projects you've worked on while working at Tenalytics or Amdari, you're confidently, stating the projects you've worked on because you worked on those projects yourself. You built the experience yourself, right? So this is what it affords you here at Tenalytics. And the most interesting part is you have a lifetime access to all these services, your technical skills, your employability skills. We have people from 3 years back, they'll come to, oh, I have an interview coming up, right? And we prep them for interview. So you have a lifetime access to
Okay, hi everyone. Please just give Priscilla a minute. She's going to join us back right now, real quick. I think she has certain issues with her internet, so just a minute to join us back right now. Okay, before Priscilla gets back, is there any question maybe before Priscilla joined you wanted to ask me that you couldn't ask? So let me just check the comment section to see questions that are for me. Oh yeah, she'll be back. She'll be back soon. Thank you for that, Beauty. She'll be joining us soon. So is there like any question you want to ask based on like the cybersecurity career paths that we've been talking about? Most employers look for candidates with CompTIA tickets before short. So the thing first with employers asking you for apply, once they see your portfolio, they know that it is you that they want. So nobody is saying certifications is bad, but you need to know all of these things before you even start thinking of certification, because Okay, Nedu says, sorry, I will get back to the question. Is the payment in USD or CAD? Also, what's the best for someone in social science? Okay, the payment you can pay in USD, you can also pay in CAD. For someone in social science, I would say there are different parts in which you can explore. Like since you were in social science, you can start with you can go with the career part of security awareness, security awareness basically. You can go with that career path. You can also go with compliance basically. Yeah, you can do any of those tools basically. It would resonate with like your background. How do I get into the training with training for cybersecurity and agile? Okay, when you say and agile, do you mean you want to do the two together, Peter? Is that what you mean? Peter, let me get to understand your question. If you want to do the two together, let me get yeah, if you can do the two together, yes, you can get into that. So more information on how to get into this will still be shared with you. The session is not over, so Priscilla is going to get you those information on how you can get into it. So basically, with what I was saying before, with somebody that asked um about with what I was saying before about the certification. So you need to apply to all of these things first because the certification is just basically an exam you write and you pass. I'm not against certifications, but I'm just all up for knowing something before you even try to uh before you try to start doing certification. You need to have a strong portfolio, which is what we do here basically. We tell you we give you different case study, different projects that you're going to work with. And these are projects that they do in real world, and only you will be what? Only you will be doing what? All of these things. So we put you in the right path on how to go about with all of these real life case studies. Then then you document them because if you don't document them, no one will know you are learning this. So in the documentation process, what we do with that is every of our participants, they have like a GitHub account where they post their project. So when recruiters see them and they want to or speak to them, because first thing they'll ask is, let me see your portfolio. Sometimes they even ask that before CV. Let me see your portfolio. Send me your portfolio. What do you have to show for that? That's where that's where GitHub comes in, where we our students have what they posted all the works that they've done, all the projects they've done. A stacked one to be precise. They post all of that, and that way you can see what all of the things that what our students have been working on. So is there any help for those who are struggling and want to break into it? Yes, that's exactly what this session is for. So basically, this is just to help us see how we can come in as somebody that doesn't have experience in the tech background, basically, then come in and work on all of these things. This is why you're in this session for Tenalytics to help you achieve all of that. So I'm just going to, I think Priscilla is back now. So I'm just going to pass this on to her so she can furthermore answer all of these your questions that you have. Hi Priscilla, you back now? Hi Priscilla, can you hear me? Well, I can see that she has joined, but I don't know if she can hear me. Okay, so that's basically what, yes, that's basically beauty. That's basically what this session is for. To help you, you would join the class. From the class there on, you are going to build your portfolio. We are going to build you yourself into becoming a cybersecurity expert. That way, you will also help you in navigating. Oh, what part do I want to focus on? What part interests me? You will because of we cover almost all the parts. We cover different parts. We cover what? SOC analysis. We cover SOC analysis. We cover penetration testing. We cover threat intelligence. We also cover what? GRC. So all of these things, we cover them. And I'm okay with beauty question again. The beauty question again about morning classes. So we have our live classes on Saturdays, but not every Saturday. 2 Saturdays in 4 Saturdays. That's when we do our live classes. So you can either go for the morning session, and we also have the evening session. So basically, you would pick on whatever time is you're comfortable with. That's how the session works, basically. Yeah, I think I see another question. Let me pick another one. Yes, yes. Are you guys going to teach us how to do any hands-on in any sub? Exactly, we're going to do all of that. Like I've said, we'll teach you network security, hands-on, you will do project on that. Hands-on, you work with firewalls, you work with SIEM, you work as a SOC analyst and all of that. Those are the things we'll be working on. So let me just stop here and allow Priscilla to go forward with all your questions. So hi Priscilla.
Yeah, hi Tariq. Thank you so much. There's been a heavy downpour, so the connection has been terrible. Hi everybody. If you're still with me, please leave a yes in the chat. If you're still very much with me, my apologies. Thank you so much. So I'll just pick it up from where we left off on the other call, and it's basically how you can get started, right? So what is the next step for you? I'm sure that my colleague has been able to take a couple of questions. If you still have questions, please leave them in the chat. And as soon as we're done talking about the next steps, we'll just take all of your questions conclusively, right? So we have a next cohort that is starting on the 4th of October, which is next week, right? And if you get started now, there's a guarantee by, February of 2026, you're already applying to a job, right? With the help of Tenalytics, absolutely. Okay, now the cost of the training here at Tenalytics is $1,000, right? The cost of everything you get to learn, the lifetime access to the resources and all of that is $1,000. But right now we have a discount ongoing, a 25% discount. And with this discount, you get to pay $750 instead of $1,000. We're all about flexibility here at Tenalytics, helping people transition into tech seamlessly. So we have a 25% discount running, but the catch is this discount ends tomorrow, which is the 26th. Now, if you see right here on my screen, you'd see that it's an early bird discount, right? And it's been open right from the 9th of September. Now, it was supposed to end last week, but we got a couple of, I'm going to get paid very soon and all of that. And we decided to extend to the 26th of September. Right? 26 is just tomorrow. So if you want to get started, using this 25% discount, you need to secure a slot, as soon as possible, most likely before the end of tomorrow. Because if you don't take advantage of this 25%, you get to pay more. Because come the 27th, it will just be the 20% discount. And with the 20%, you get to pay $800. So why pay $800 when you can actually pay $750? Saving $50 for yourself, right? So I would walk you through, how to go about making payment, very simple and easy to follow step. So my colleague will share the link to the payment platform right there in the chat, and then I would walk you through how you can go about making payments. So if you see the link, it's right there in the chat. And as soon as you click on it, right, as soon as you click on that link, it brings you right here. Right, this is what you get to see. So you see limited time offer for October cohort 2025, 25% off, right? And it's ending tomorrow, which is the 26th of September. So if you're looking to go for the cybersecurity program, just scroll down and look for cybersecurity, right? You see the cybersecurity program, click on buy now. right? Now, you see that $750 that we've just spoken about? You don't have to worry about paying the large chunk, and I'll show you, right? This is because we have monthly payment plans in place. So you're not bothered about looking for 750 US dollars because you can actually split that into as many as 5 times. So as soon as you click on cybersecurity, it brings you here. All you have to do is click on enroll now. Now, it might prompt you to create an account, and that you can do in 5 to 10 seconds or less than a minute and all of that. So as soon as you're done creating the account, right? As soon as you are done, need to share my screen again. As soon as you're done creating that account, you get to see the enrollment page. Right? You get to see the enrollment page, which I'll be bringing up again. Let me just quickly share again. All right, so as soon as you click on enroll now, it brings you here and you get to see the October or the November cohort, right? So you pick the one that you want to go for. Either you want to go for the October cohort or you'd like to go for the November cohort. But basically, just click on October or you click on November. Right? Now, with this discount, you get to pay, like I said, as many as 5 times. So your 750 US dollars, you're splitting it into 5, right? And you get to pay in bits. Okay, so when you open up the link, it literally would show you, the payment right in your local currency. So you don't have to worry about conversions at all, right? It will show you the payment right in your local currency, and you can go about, making payments in your local currency. Okay, so when you click on the link that my colleague is sharing, you just have to click on cybersecurity, scroll down to cybersecurity, you get to click on enroll now. It might prompt you to create an account. As soon as you're done creating the account, it brings you here. You get to pick your selected cohort. So it's either you want to start in October or you want to start in November. Now, if you want to start in October, like I said, you can split that 750 US dollars into 5. Right? And what you need to get started is $150 every month. So you see that you don't have to worry about sourcing for $750. What this means is, hey, Priscilla, I want to start in October. I want to start in November, and I have 150 US dollars. You start with that, right? And while you're still paying, you have 5 months to complete that payment. While you're paying, you're gaining the experience, you're building skills, you're applying to jobs. So you're getting so much value, and it's a win-win situation. So that as soon as you're done paying, in fact, you're already applying to jobs. You have access to the employability skills and all of that. Right? You also have the 4 monthly installment. Now, with the 4 monthly installment, you get to pay £187. $187.05, right? If you're looking to pay 4 times. So you split 750 US dollars into 4 and you get started with $187.05, right? If you want to get started with the 3 installments, all you need is $250 every month, and in 3 months, you're done. Now, there's a further discount for people that are looking to pay twice or once. So if you want to pay twice or you want to pay once, right, you get to pay $712.50 instead of $750. It's just the net present value of money effect, right? If you want to pay twice or once, you get to pay, less, right? You get further discounts. So it depends on you and what is obtainable for you at the moment. So you can go for the 5 installment where you get to pay $150 every month, right? Or you can go for the 4 monthly installment. So the whole point of this is just to ensure that you're able to secure a slot before the 25% discount is over. Because as soon as, the end of tomorrow, this increases from 750 US dollars to 800 US dollars. And instead of 150, you get to pay more than 150. Right? That should be $160 every month. So why pay that when you can actually pay less? So whether you're looking to start in October or you're looking to start in November, I'll encourage you to secure a discount using the 25% discounted slot while you can. All right. So right now, this is pretty much all it takes for you to get started right here at Analytics as a beginner, registering for our cybersecurity program and, coming to enjoy all the benefits from your technical skills to your employability skills. Every single thing is covered here at Analytics, right? So much so that when you hear stories of absolute beginners getting jobs, you're not fazed anymore because you know that there was a strategy to it. Right? So I'll encourage you to secure a discounted slot as soon as you can. So if you have any more questions for me, please leave them in the chat so I can take your questions and then we bring the session to a close. Right? So if you have any question, so Boloza is saying most employers look for candidates with CompTIA Security Plus certification before shortlisting an applicant. How does Tenalytics overcome this? Now, like we said, for us here at Tenalytics, we always emphasize competence over certification. There are roles in cybersecurity that you wouldn't need to get a certificate for. Right, we've done it and we're still doing it. There are roles in cybersecurity that you don't need to get a certification for. So the emphasis is to get yourself into the field, get the much needed skills, apply to those jobs, get the experience that you need. And as you go down the cybersecurity path, as you upskill and all of that, you can begin to add a lot of certifications to your portfolio. But for a beginner, the focus is absolutely not on certifications. The focus is on getting the much needed skills. In the tech space, it is always competence, over credentials. That is what is applicable in the tech space, right? And like I said, there are absolutely roles in cybersecurity you can get without certifications, right? So I hope I was able to answer your question. If you have any more questions, you can leave them in the chat, right? So I think we'll be here. We have like 2-3 minutes to be here. If you have questions, please leave them in the chat so I get to take your questions before we bring the session to a close. So are there any questions for me in the chat? Right? If you're still here, please leave a yes. I just need to know we're still here. If you're still here, kindly leave a yes in the chat so I know, okay, there are no more questions, or is it an audio issue and all of that. So if you're still here with me, kindly leave a yes in the chat. All right. Thank you, Yolande. Any other person? Do we have any more person that is listening in? All right, Remy. So do we have any questions whatsoever before we bring the session to a close? Remember that we have the 25% discount ongoing and you can secure a slot, right? While paying more when you can pay less, absolutely. Right? You can get started with $150 every month. And like I said, when you open this up, you see the equivalent of the $750 in your local currency. Right? You see the equivalent in your local currency. Okay, so please, if you have any more questions, please leave them in the chat. Do you mean, Remy, do you mean this particular class or the live class at Tenalytics? Okay, the live class at Tenalytics. So I'll just go to that part of my screen and I'll talk you through the live class again. Now, each live class, let me show you. Just to be sure. Each live class is for 3 hours, right? So you have the morning class and then you have the evening class. So you get to pick which of them works for you, morning or evening, but every single live class is for 3 hours. Right? And out of 4 Saturdays in a month, you're only required to be in a live class for 2 out of those 4 Saturdays. So 2 Saturdays, you come to a live class, you work with an instructor, and then you have the self-paced. Right? So with the self-paced, you learn at your convenience. From Sunday through to Friday, you are learning at your convenience. Right? That is what you get with Tenalytics. You have the live classes and you also have the self-paced. Right? So I think I can see one more response from Boloza. Remy, I hope I was able to answer your question. Right, so Boloza is saying, but in order to be shortlisted, but then you have to meet their criteria by having a certificate. Absolutely, but there are certain jobs that wouldn't require you to have a certification. So the focus for now, shouldn't be like certification. The focus for now is to gain skills, right, and get jobs that don't require you to have certifications. There are a lot of them. So get into the cybersecurity space via those roles. And then as you begin to progress, you have your goal. Okay, these are the roles I want to apply for. I built my skills. You can go ahead to get certifications. All right. And here at Tenalytics, remember, just like my colleague said, every key learning area you'll be getting, the key learning area that you'll be getting would prepare you for the certifications you're looking to get. So it's a win-win situation for you. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so Remy, is that for 8 months or 6 months? So the learning timeline is 8 months. The program duration is 8 months, but that is split into 6 months of learning and 2 months of internship, right? 6 months learning, 2 months of internship. Your learning is done with Tenalytics. Your internship is done with Amdari, right? So Beauty is asking, is the internship paid for? No, the internship is not paid for. The whole point of the internship is, remember that the focus is to get a job. And when you're applying for a job, recruiters would ask you for experience, right? So the focus is on how can you gain experience across a lot of industries. So much so that whether you want to go into the finance, you want to go into healthcare, you want to go into the service industry, any industry whatsoever, you have a project in that industry. This is what the internship would help you do. You get to work in a team, you get to work on a lot more projects across various industries. So if you want to apply for a job as a cybersecurity analyst in the finance industry, you have projects that you can showcase and highlight in your portfolio. So you get to showcase that to recruiters, right? And you also have the advantage of including Tenalytics, and Amdavi as your work experience. So Baloza says, can your company assist with CompTIA certification in the future? Absolutely. While you're studying for it, you have questions and all of that, you can absolutely reach back to us here at Tenalytics. But remember, it is a lifetime access to your resources and your facilitators as well. So I hope I was able to answer that, Beauty. Okay, all right. So I guess, is that it? Have I been able to take everybody's question? Remember, we have a cohort starting in October or one in November. So please try to secure a discounted slot before the 25% discount goes out tomorrow, right? Please secure a slot as soon as possible. So if we don't have any more questions, I think we'll bring the session to a close. It's been a beautiful 1 hour, 50 minutes. Thank you for spending time with us, and for listening in on everything we have to say. We hope to see you come October or even November. So if there are no more if there are no more questions from me, please enjoy the rest of your day. All right. And I hope to see you in October. Please try to save more, right? By securing a slot using the 25% discount. So with this, we'll bring the session to a close. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you and bye for now. Cheers. Bye, Violet.